Hey to all our listeners, thank you for following the MSA Crusaders. We are here with another episode for you, and we're going to talk today about traveling with the MSA. David,
Yay.
David likes to travel, so he's going to be the one to get us going on this conversation. Take it away,
Yes.
David.
I'm known for telling my former employer, like, if there's a Waffle House, I will travel anywhere. So I love
Like,
traveling, right?
you're going everywhere.
Except by Chicago. There's no Waffle Houses up here. You got to go to Cleveland, Ohio, or Indianapolis to get the closest one. So
So
that's
what
what
are you doing there?
I used to travel for work. Yeah, travel for
Uh,
work. I take a
uh,
little detour and hit the Waffle House and then go to my office. Yeah.
what are you doing living where you live if you love Waffle House that much?
I'm here for love, the love of my wife and kids.
Well, that's so sweet.
So I say that saying that with a straight face. Yes, Waffle House is not greater than the family. Okay, yeah, traveling. I thought it was a great topic. We talked about this, and we probably have different and unique experiences, right? I mean, I'm still majorly mobile, if I could put that together, and I use a cane for the most part. But do I need a walking cane? No, I can do without it. Might be some consequences, but you know, I still, as a man and 44 years old and a father, I still want to try my best to travel and walk and run and stuff like that. So, we've been around a few places, and traveling presents some very unique circumstances because not only do we fly to Europe and stuff like that, but we also, like, before, my wife and family, we used to drive to southern Mexico, like 2,400 miles. So, I love traveling, even
Don't
as
see
the
you
airplane
doing
over.
that now, do you?
We were supposed to try to get down to southern Mexico again in June, but we have another cruise coming up in August, so we're not sure about it. Right? We'll see. We'll see.
You're supposed to be coming to Texas to see me.
On my way down to Mexico, absolutely. Yep.
Oh, that was what you were talking about?
As long as you
Uh,
have a Waffle House,
yeah, we got one of those.
okay, I'll come.
And you said you were going to Houston, you were going to talk about to me.
Yeah, that's end of the year. I'll get to you about that. How far are you from Houston?
About 5 hours, actually.
Yay! Oh my god. I'll just fly to New Orleans and cut over west. Maybe that's quicker. The things
Oh,
we do.
well, we still haven't met each other, so that would be kind of cool.
It will happen this summer. I promise you.
Oh, show.
Yep, full show. I think we're gonna get canceled for that. Okay. Anyway, so
We could cancel for a lot of things, too.
absolutely. So Daisy, tell me about. So obviously we've had trips before MSA. How has MSA affected your traveling now?
Well, David, I make it a point to pack a bag just for medical stuff. I put all my medical stuff in one bag because that bag will actually travel for free. You don't have to count it as a carry on or a personal bag. That bag will count as its own and it's free. So I put all my medication and gloves, catheter bags, everything I'm gonna need for medical. And, even put sterile water bottles,
Yeah.
alcohol, things like that in there. And you don't have to have them 4 ounces or less, because it's for medical purposes.
So you're saying you can go straight through TSA with liquids more than 3-4 ounces for medical
Yes,
and not pay for that bag as a personal item on an airplane.
exactly.
I did not know that.
Really. Yeah, I put like applesauce because I take medication with it in that bag.
Hmm.
It can be counted as medical because you have to use it to take medicine. Um, like I said, sterile waters.
Yeah,
And
I don't think you want to use airplane water for cleaning ourselves and things like that.
no, you can take alcohol bottles,
Yeah,
peroxide bottles,
yeah.
things like that.
And that's something I don't really do yet. I take pain medication, my MSA meds, um, but I don't take anything specific for the diagnosis at all.
I take Vaseline.
Hmm.
Just little thing, anything I can think of that's gonna be helpful in a medical way. I'll put that in that bag. And then the other thing I've noticed with us telling what we do, we go first now, obviously,
Yeah.
before everyone boards if we're going on a plane. Um, I have to use a aisle wheelchair.
Wait. They have an owl wheelchair?
Yeah,
I wish I would have known this when my mom broke her knee in Ireland because I was like, Mom, if you can't walk down this aisle, even with crutches to get to your chair, they're not going to let you fly in this airplane. And I wondered if they had wheelchairs that were smaller for the owls, but apparently there are.
yeah. You can book an airline assistant,
Hmm.
airline assistants, and they will come meet you at the like. Say you book through
Yeah, they come
Delta.
get you at the gates.
They'll come get you, take you to the gate. You
Hmm.
go through. They get you through TSA
Hmm.
quickly. They have to check your whole wheelchair and everything.
Yeah.
Frisk you and the wheelchair. But yeah. Then they take me to the plane, and then they put me in an aisle wheelchair. Buckle you all in like you're gonna jump out of a plane. Now let me tell you, all the buckles and everything they put on you just to go down this aisle wheelchair, and they roll it. I was almost at the back of the plane. Roll it to the back of the plane, get you seated, and then they'll come back and get you with the aisle wheelchair, take you back to your
Now,
wheelchair.
what airline was this? Can I ask?
I've done it with Delta, American Airlines, Sprint, and Frontier.
Spirit and Frontier. Yeah, I didn't know they had
Yeah, Spirit. I know.
a hopefully not take a Sprint. I didn't know they had a thinner wheelchair other than what they bring you to the gate with, right? They take you down the walkway, the causeway, whatever, the jetway. And I swear to you, I thought that if you don't get up and get yourself in the airplane, you can't fly.
No, they have
Wow.
an aisle wheelchair, and they'll come and get you, take you to the bathroom. And if you are still using the bathroom, you can go to the restroom that way. Um,
Well, I want to apologize for making my mom walk down the aisle with a broken knee on Ireland
no,
because this is why I read things and research things and listen to things because I don't know, and that's why people read they watch my videos and
you
read
don't
the stuff
know
that I
unless you
post.
do.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. I thought I promise you, I was like, Mom, you're not going to be able to fly home. You'll have to have surgery here, stay here for weeks and weeks and weeks, right? And post-op and stuff because if you can't, I figured in case of an emergency, you had to be able to ambulate or to move yourself in case of emergency. Otherwise, you couldn't fly. I mean, that's what I've always thought.
Well, think about it. When you have an emergency, I'm guessing the adrenaline's gonna take over, and you're gonna be able to get yourself up out of that seat.
I would hope so for the next 10 minutes. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, no, they have an aisle wheelchair.
So do you pack a wheelchair under the airplane?
They do. They take my wheelchair and put there. Now, like I was gonna take my scooter with me to Vegas, but I didn't. They take that on the put it on the um
You
what
you
is
take you take that cool new one,
yeah, that
the
did you show
firefighter one, the video.
oh
Yeah,
video that was hilarious, wasn't it?
that's the greatest thing ever. Embracing the power scooter, right? That's awesome.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
so my
they'll
mom.
check it for you.
Good. Is that free too, or you got to pay for that?
It's free.
Wow.
Anything that's medical, David. Anything that's medical is free.
I feel like a king at this point. My mother had posted it. She showed me a TikTok or Instagram something, and these older couple, they look 70, 80 years old or more. They were riding powered luggage.
Oh, I saw those.
Right.
That's so cool.
I told my mom, so we're gonna have to buy one to get you out to the airplane so you can ride it out the aisle.
I wish I had one of those before I had MSA. That would have been so fun to go around the airport with it. Get out of my way.
Can you imagine hitting a threshold of some walkway and like tipping over forward? I
Oh
can
my gosh.
I can see the bad part of that.
I don't know if y'all have them up there, but Dallas Airport. Have you ever been to Dallas Airport?
Been through there quite a few times. Yes,
So you
Dallas
know
Fort
the
Worth.
little skywalkways they call them.
Yep.
They're like escalator sidewalks.
Yep. Those are great. But getting on and off though, like for me,
Could you
is
make that with a power luggage like that?
if it could,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, that would be something going off of it with power luggage.
Getting off at 20 miles per hour, shooting you. Yeah, we had
It'd be like a treadmill. Boom, across the room you go.
we're in Europe, I think in Venice, Italy, coming back, flying back home, and their power walkways weren't working, and I was like, oh, it was so hot, no air conditioning, just no walkway, no. It was from some of the MSA. I was like, this sucks. I need a powered
Wow.
luggage.
Yeah, but you could take a wheelchair all around.
So it's pretty simple, right? I don't really pack anything special, at least not yet. I take my cane with me. They always take my cane and put up above, Um, Now, since we're still talking about flying, air travel, um, do you? I had a lady ask me on Facebook what precautions, because she was flying for the first time with MSA, what precautions I would uh, give her. And I gave her a list of 6 or 7 things important to me, but like sitting in a row that has extra leg room, if not, if you get into a fire exit row, whatever emergency exit row, that's great. But if you're disabled or handicapped, then they necessarily won't let you do that. So I told her definitely getting a seat with a lot of room is so much better on your body, so you can stretch out because our muscles just lock in. They
I've
get so
never had
stiff.
one. I've never had one. The extra leg room.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you, we flew down to Mexico just recently, to Morelia, using Valeris, and I'm gonna make a video about them because for now I paid for my seats and I paid extra $30 for 35 whatever for extra leg room. All the seats were identical. It's supposed to be the front 3 rows, and they were all identical. And if I would have known that with MSA, I would have got the very first row against a bulkhead that had more. I would have done some or a different flight. You should have seen me getting in and out of this row. It was horrible. Trying, just the trimmers are trying to get in and out of the seat, trying to slide yourself, laterally, side to side.
I
It's
can
just
imagine
something.
because when you're nervous, you twitch.
Yeah, yeah, right. It's even worse when you're nervous or you're worried about people, feedback and stuff. So, yeah, that was something I think is the biggest one is having just more room. And of course, business class and first class would be great, but those of us that have MSA
Wouldn't it?
probably don't have money for that type of first class or business
No,
class.
they had
But,
it. Spirit had the extra leg room. I
mhm,
could have got it for $130. I think it was.
yeah,
It gave you 11 inches more
wow.
leg room, and it gave you a wider seat too.
Is it worth 100 and something bucks though?
I would say no.
For 11, yeah, for 11 inches. I would say just find one that's up against a bulkhead, like the very front rows of those bulkheads that go side. They're flat walls in front of you, and normally those
Yeah,
have like we took that flight to Europe, and we were able to literally sit down in front of us, and my wife was able to like lay down sideways on the floor or to see like there's so much room on those flights. If you get a row against the bulkhead.
I will tell you, I felt violated by going through TSA.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They groped me a few times.
I told them I have a suprapubic catheter. So they asked me, "Do you have any tender areas?" Or, you know,
Yeah,
and they frisked me around my tube, and they weren't being easy.
yeah. Was
And
a woman do it?
yes,
Mm.
not in private. I'm out in the open in front of
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
It was very embarrassing. And I told her, I said, "This is a little embarrassing." And she said, "Well, do you want me to go somewhere where we can do it in private?" I said, "Where?" She goes, pointing all the way down this hallway.
yeah,
I'm like, "I might miss my flight."
yeah.
You know?
I've thought about that going through TSA where I might want to start having going to that private room to be frisked by TSA because now the last guy that frisked me, he was a little eager. I mean, very nice, very. I can't blame TSA. I think it's the person themselves that makes a lot of these issues,
Right.
right? But most of TSA is really great, do good jobs, do their best. But some of these people like
Tell
have
you what
no
they're gonna
idea.
do.
Yeah, before this MSA, I would have no idea about the risks of frisking around a catheter of any type, right? Like, can you imagine if somebody hits that thing by accident or, I mean, jabs it
Oh,
into you?
awful.
horrible, right? And I mean, and this guy now, this guy's really nice, but it's I understand, and it's that room might be the best if we don't want to be embarrassed, unfortunately. But
Well, one lady I had was very thorough. She was telling me what she's gonna do, everything. But in the wheelchair assistant, he's like, "Come on, come on already."
yeah,
It caused me to lose my travel pillow.
really,
Yeah, but
how'd you? Oh, you got
because
distracted?
yeah, because I took it off and I was trying to hurry up because the wheelchair assistant was even getting impatient.
Yeah,
So I lost that travel pillow, and that would have really come in handy for my neck pain. But
got gotta
but
have
yeah,
compassion.
there's some of them are so thorough. They're just violate. If you feel violated,
Yeah, yeah. The last person I went to come back to the USA, they're American TSA over there. Yeah, he was very. I wasn't, I'm a man. We really don't care too much, but I'm sort of like, you got the X-ray scan already. Like, there's nothing down there.
whoa, yeah,
Yeah, like
stand back.
can you take off your belt? I can. Are you gonna hold my pants up? He's like, sure. So I was holding my pants up, taking my belt and stuff. He's touching other parts of the body. It's like, no, this is not how this is supposed to go, right?
Well, I
But
forget you're not in the military, but I'm in the military,
yeah,
and there I have cushions, okay,
hmm
that are in the wheelchair, and um, they're like, "We need to take this cushion off," and I'm like, "I can't stand up."
right. No, absolutely not. Like this is an airport wheelchair, you know.
Well, so it's actually my wheelchair.
Oh, it's yours.
Yeah.
So you get to the gate and then they take it from there. Once you get towards the airplane, then they take it down below, right?
Oh, I'm talking about TSA still.
Yeah, the TSA ones.
I'm talking about my wheelchair going through TSA.
Yeah, you take your personal wheelchair through TSA.
Oh yeah, you get air, the aisle chair at the plane.
Yeah, at the door, right? So when you get
Yeah.
down there, they transfer you.
Yeah.
Yeah, then they take yours and put it underneath the plane.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I see them. I watch things right. Have an MSA. I even watch people with wheelchairs and stuff. I gotta be really mean.
What?
I'm not gonna yell at Atlanta here. Okay, well, let's stay away from Atlanta. Let's not talk about Atlanta
Huh?
because God forbid this happens in Atlanta more. Why are there so many people taking wheelchairs through pre-boarding as well? And the moment they say it's time for pre-boarding, if you got a wheelchair or whatever, with the power of Jesus, everybody stands up and walks down the guy like they have no issues at all.
Uh-huh.
Like I understand if you had a surgery, maybe you sprained the leg muscle while you're cleaning the house. I understand there's reasons, right? These people stand up so quickly, right? They look so normal, and they walk down the jetway like it's nothing, like a normal
Right.
person. And I'm like, you're just taking up our time in
Exactly.
our wheelchairs.
The ones that really
Need it,
have a problem
yeah.
with issue.
And that's why I don't take a wheelchair because Daisy, I don't need it yet. I feel bad. My wife tells me all the time, "Why don't you get in the wheelchair? That's what it's for." I said, "I know, but I feel ashamed
But
by
that's
taking a
pride,
wheelchair if I don't need one. When I need one, right? You can tell they're just lazy. Some of these people are just lazy.
right? But David, you know what? You should take the wheelchair and let it be checked. That way you'll have it on your trips if you need it.
It's not like my mom. She got one before, and I said, absolutely to Europe. I said, absolutely not. I said, put that away. We are not going to do this. It's like, what about just in case? I said, no, there will be no just in case. No, absolutely not.
The first time I ever went in public, I was like so embarrassed. I really was. Having my mom pushing me in a wheelchair, it's like it's disheartening. Yeah.
I'm not embarrassed. Here's the only reason why I don't want a wheelchair, even though maybe I should sometimes. Sometimes I don't want a wheelchair because the moment you accept it, you're going to use it for times that you don't need it. And I know this sounds bad. I know it sounds maybe self-centered and self-serving, but give you an example. When my oldest was young, we went to Disney World, the family. And my mom was like, let's get the little buggies, the little cart, the push things for kids, right? Strollers, the Disney stroller.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, they got a side by side one, a double one for two kids. I'm like, no, this is Disney World. They're kids. They should walk. Otherwise, I told her, I said, they're just going to sit in this little stroller
And
and
have
and
us
not-
push
and
them around.
yeah, and not see and partake of Disney World. And that's exactly what happened. I was so mad. Now those are just kids, but I don't want to rely on something that I don't need. When it's time. But I don't want a wheelchair because I'm afraid that
You're
I'll use it for.
accepting it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be that. I'm going to be that person I just complained about in the airport.
I can understand that. I mean, like when I first used one, I felt like, oh man, I'm accepting that I'm progressed this far, and it
Hmm.
was kind of hard emotionally. But you know what? I had to put my pride aside, and I had to realize, hey, I do need this.
Well, you are a much better person than me. I mean, I know it's a manly thing to be macho and we got this, right?
Yeah,
Strong. That's just a man. That's what a man is, right? We are the one that will go forward when others don't, right? But being a man with a terminal disease too, it's like I got this. Like, do you really?
yeah, right. But
Because
going back to traveling, take your walker, take a
yeah,
wheelchair, so
yeah.
you have things that, in case there's the in case.
Th- That's true because specifically when we us with MSA when we exert ourselves,
We're very tired.
walking, trimmers, tripping, whatever, right? We get worse. Like your voice is going, my voice is going, right? Or we get exhausted so quickly by exerting such little effort in life, right? So yeah, I agree with you in that point where take it just in case because
It's
you
better to
know
have it just in case and to not to have it at all.
some of these airports are very long. Very long.
Yes.
I regret flying back into O'Hare. We were in the last gate, right? But that
Oh,
pale
that's a big one too. I've been in that one.
that pales in comparison to JFK. JFK is like 3 miles long. It's like I would go to JFK. I'm like, it's never ending. They had gates in the hundreds. That's a joke, but yeah, it's like so much. So I agree with you. Especially on the point where if you think you need it, you should take it because exerting yourself physically makes us worse as the day goes along. We can't do what we wanted to, for
And that
sure.
way you have that where you don't have to call the day short. You know,
Yeah,
you can spend more time with your family out and about
that's
than
true.
to say, I'm tired. Let's go.
Yeah, 'cause we
Call it
travel.
a day.
We travel plenty of times, and sometimes I'm spent by noon, spent by 3 o'clock. I just can't go anymore because I've used myself physically too much already. So maybe a little scooter or wheelchair would help that in the
I
future.
love my little scooter.
Electric one, yeah, gotta get some rims for it. Something.
Oh, I'm gonna have an electric scooter. I'm gonna have a motorized wheelchair next week. I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be fun.
Have the little honking horn for the bicycles on it.
Yeah,
Something.
my scooter has a horn, but it just goes beep 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 beep.
Oh, the backing up one.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got to
so
drive in reverse the whole time.
I'm gonna have to. Oh no, it's actually a horn. I do push it and it still has a backing up.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna get the bicycle one and have it on there.
I would.
And
I
it
the
won't
one that
go
rings.
in turtle mode. It only goes in rabbit mode.
Scare some people.
I
So
get it, I'm gone.
what about like hotels and things like that? I know we went to Europe, like even going with MSA, and I'm still walking, but going to Venice, Italy, where there are no streets, it's all boats. And it's all bridges up and over every river or canal is a archway, and the stone ground floors or whatever are all rounded off. And we had to pick some places that were not like second floor, third floor, or very exotic places because I wouldn't be able to walk to them. I really get there once and that's it, right? We want to be able to get out there and travel and see things. So
Right.
Do you often like research places like whether it's getting ADA rooms or
I
the type of
do.
hotel?
Yes. I look at the room. I always make sure I have a walk-in shower
Yeah,
because I cannot get over bathtub lip, the
that's
side.
hard. Yeah, I can get in, I fall in, but getting out, like I used to be strong before you stop using your muscles, right? Getting out of a bath is so hard. I like roll out to the
I'm gonna
side.
tell you a funny story. When we went to Galveston a couple weeks ago,
Uh-huh.
we had a bathtub in our um bathroom. We had a walk-in shower in a bathroom, and I hadn't had to took a bath and got to soak in years. So I thought I wanted to wrap up my catheter and plug it up and get in the bathtub and soak. So my husband had to get in the bathtub to get me in there and squatting down into the tub.
It's
Oh
gotta
my
be hard.
god, my
Yeah.
knees was so bad. It was so bad. My knees hurt so bad when I got in there. I said, I need some Epsom salt now.
That's true though. Like my shoulders trying to get out of a bathtub just to push like this is one of our
Oh, to push up.
hallways all the way down. Like just now, I don't even get into the jacuzzi. We had a two-person jacuzzi downstairs. It's so deep. I don't think I could even get out of it like myself. I don't think I could lift myself out at all. But I've been finding I think baths are when it's really bad for MSA, I will have to like turn over to my side, get on my hands and knees, and then get up out of a bathtub.
Well, he had to get in the bathtub to get me
Yeah,
out too.
yeah,
It was horrible.
that's
And
slippery.
then I had to get in the shower to shower off.
Yep, you got to.
So,
Yeah, we
but
did that on a cruise ship. Like we had another one coming up in August, but getting in, I actually got to see an ADA room, disability room, which was like twice the size. And you mentioned that walk-in shower with the seats and stuff. Wow, that would sit down. And it's got all the mobility things and handles and the
oh, that's
sh-
awesome.
shower yourself sitting down. It was the greatest. Like we didn't need that. We didn't know if I needed something like that. But that was so nice
It,
to wheelchair or whatever, just to get in there and have
it really
all
come
this
in
room.
handy, didn't it?
Yeah, right. I mean, I was falling
And I
asleep.
heard you have balconies, extra balcony space.
Extra back space, and it has a ramp to get over the threshold for the
Oh,
doors.
wow.
Now I've tripped on that threshold a few times. I forgot about it, but
Wow.
yeah, it's amazing what a shower. So definitely, checking the accommodations where we're staying at.
Do your research. I definitely do that.
Yeah, that's true. Just kind of like that Volaris, that airline I took with the room, it actually didn't have a room. I saw comments that said there was no difference in seats, and I was like, nah, they couldn't do that, right? But sure enough, those posts were actually correct, or it was no difference. So, you
Yeah,
know,
I do read reviews
yeah,
and comments and, you know, look around at hotels that in the area. Find the closest one to certain places that we really,
yeah,
really want to go to and things like that. But I
I,
also try to find the sitting areas
hmm
because it's hard for us to eat in our room
yeah,
on bed.
especially if it's not like a larger ADA room or something, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So having a spacious place down like in the lobby, so to speak, just to
Sitting area.
eat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A sitting area in your room,
That's true.
does come in handy.
Never thought about that. Yeah. I've been to some ADA rooms and they're not very wide. I can't imagine getting a wheelchair in some of these rooms I've stayed at before. Like,
Oh my gosh, I had ADA room when I first got into a wheelchair. And the space between the bed and the bathroom,
yeah,
I could not get my wheelchair through there.
yep. I think they say it's an ADA room in some of these places just to say so because they have to. But that's why I'm very loyal to like Holiday Inn Express at this point. Like Holiday Inn,
Yes,
maybe not
that's
Holiday
good.
Inn, but Holiday Inn Express is always like
They're
what.
good.
Yeah, what they say is there is always there and proper. Shout
Yeah.
out to Holiday Express. Need some points. Uh,
Listen, Holiday Inn Express, when you travel,
absolutely, yeah. I mean, they're
MSA friendly.
they're always nice places for the most part. I mean, always up kept well, and you go in, the customer representatives are really nice and forthcoming and helping and whatever you need. So
Yeah.
yeah,
The pools are actually very accessible too.
yeah, they always have the arms for wheelchairs and stuff, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and they work though. They work. They actually work. Most hotels they got those. I don't know if I trust half of them.
I know they're all rusted out,
Yeah,
but I know this tip can go for MSA patients and caregivers, but also non-MSA patients and caregivers. When
true.
I travel and I go to a hotel room, we put our luggage. This sounds weird, but we put our luggage in the bathtub. Then we check all the mattresses and everything for bed bugs.
Yeah,
Because if you put your luggage down on the luggage racks, things like that, they have a high chance getting into your clothes and your luggage. But you put them in the bathtub because they can't get in the bathtub.
yeah. I never had any experience with bed bugs. I'm completely oblivious to that one.
Well, I do have to say I was that's what I did before I got MSA was I was property manager
Hmm.
of condos on the beach. And so we had a couple experiences with bed bugs, and they are a headache. So
Can imagine trying to move around and get rid of them with MSA. Like it's not going to happen very easily.
no, so that's a good tip for you all. Put your
Yeah,
luggage in a backpack, in a bathtub, and check your mattress and your covers.
yeah. Gotta have the soft pillows too. Uh, do you ever break up your trips? Do you ever take trips so long that you want to break them up because you can't handle such a long trip?
Yes, like we drove to Galveston this time, and I haven't drove that far in a while. That was about it took us about 6.5 hours to get there. So we have to stop the first night and stay somewhere because I can't handle that long
Yeah,
of a drive. And also, when I go to my doctor's appointments, this is not to do with traveling, but they're only like 2 hours, half hours away, 3 hours. I'll go the night before and stay
yeah,
because getting my Botox and doing it all in one day, it just exhausts me so bad.
that's true. When my appointments are really early in the morning, I'll stay the night before because trying to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go drive somewhere for it's so hard, especially
It
being
is
on all the medicine we're on too, right?
right. It's hard to go to sleep at night sometimes. So just because I'm nervous about the appointment, so go the night before. But traveling, yes, break it up. It makes it so much easier to enjoy.
So, so what about traveling abroad? So I'm
I've
not
never
sure,
been out of the country
right?
unless you have this one.
The the one time we didn't get like vacation insurance or whatever, travel insurance was when my mom broke her knee, right? The ones,
Oh,
the good news is Ireland has very cheap healthcare. It's social, so it takes forever to get things done, but it didn't really cost that much. Um,
I still can't believe you made your mom walk on a broken knee to get
well,
on the plane.
I was the only man in this group, and I had to do something to get here. Like, look, either you get on this plane, or we're going to be here for. You're going to be here for. Well, I'll stay here with you too, but you're going to be here for weeks because you have to have a surgery before you go home, right? So that's why. If knowing what we know now from what you said, I would never have said anything. I would not have pushed her, but. Mom's strong, so her husband's very
Wow.
strong, so yeah, she definitely learns from the best.
She's
Um,
gonna get you when she hears this podcast.
Uh, hey, she should have done her research too.
You better go to her and say, Mom, I'm sorry,
But
I've been
yeah,
in
my
this
mother.
situation.
This podcast is for you, right? But yeah, I mean, things can go wrong overseas, and travel insurance doesn't really cost that much. It's not like this like short term, long term. But it costs some money, but most people never use it ever. And if you get yourself like Daisy, you spoke about before on podcasts and things, like if you get a UTI, a severe one, well, forget that. If you get a UTI from catheterized and even a minor UTI can turn into something tragic, especially for someone with
Oh, it's
MSA.
horrible.
You can't wait till you get back to the States for that,
No.
right? Even we're more apt to trip and fall and hurt ourselves with MSA, trying to do things. And like my mother in Ireland, like, can you really sacrifice? We didn't know, but are you really going to have surgeries or have medical care there, or are you going to try to tough it out like me and try to get back to the States or something, right? I think travel insurance is probably one of the uh,
Smartest.
dollar for dollar is worth, like, I speak of short-term or long-term disability on your paycheck, like $2 $3 tops, $4 tops per check, per week. I think travel insurance is like that. It's such little money, but it's so high reward that if something were to happen, because we go places that are hot. I like going to islands and beaches and stuff that are very hot, and my body has significant trouble with the heat. And
Oh, speaking of heat and
mhm.
jacuzzis, you just talked about that earlier. MSA patients don't get jacuzzis or hot tubs.
I love them.
No, no.
Can I set the record straight on hot baths and jacuzzis?
Sure.
If you ask this question to most people and most doctors, like I have, they get it wrong. You ask in your own way, when I take a hot bath, is my blood pressure supposed to go up or is it supposed to go down? And everybody in your life probably will say it goes up. No, jacuzzis and hot baths relax you. Your blood pressure goes down. The problem with that is on MSA,
It
you
goes two down.
two down. You got some major blood. You're going to pass out in the water and drown, right? Even my wife is telling me, she's like, Dave, you got to stop with the hot baths. I grew up, ever since I broke my back as a kid, right? I love hot baths. I
Me
can't
too.
get away from them, right? So she knows when I'm done my bath and I get up, as soon as I stand up, I'm
You're
like,
done.
"Oh," I'm screaming because I'm blacking out at the same time as trying to keep
And you
myself
see
upright.
stars everywhere, don't you?
Yeah, and that applies to a hot beach in Miami as much as it does my bathtub.
Yes. But I did that. We went to um Port Aransas, which is where I used to manage condos,
Mhm.
and I had a book signing down there. We went down there, and
Wow,
I
popular. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. We're speaking of royalty here. Woo. That's
don't
right.
be like my little niece say, "You're kind of
Yes,
famous, aren't you?" No.
sure you are. Yes. A publisher, you got Kirk Cameron, you got a successful person endorsing your book. Absolutely, that is success. Success comes in many shapes and sizes, and that is success.
Well,
Oh, by the way, I hear you're writing another book.
I am. It's gonna be called MSA Crusader.
It's called "These Days I Hate Podcasting with David."
But now going back to the book signing and went down there for that, and I got in the hot tub. This was before I knew a lot about MSA, and my mom got me out of it, and she just barely got my chair down there, and I just blacked out.
Yeah,
She got me out of it, and then she had to get me in the pool to cool me off.
because it was hot, right? Or humid.
Oh my gosh, it was hot, but I wasn't, because we don't sweat. I wasn't sweating. My body was unable to maintain that body temperature. And boy, I'm telling you, I was out for about 3 minutes.
Yeah, I don't. I blacked out so many times. My family don't know, but I blacked out. So when I say what happened, I don't black out. I white out. I don't know. Maybe there is a blacking out people do. When I stand up, especially at a hot baths or just stand up in general, when I start to blood pressure has issues, my eyes go white. And then the pins and needles and stuff, the whole head is spinning and doom.
I have that, yeah, problem, but I see stars like everywhere.
Yeah, I've never seen stuff. I've never seen like besides looking at the eclipse in my telescope backwards, which is just not a good thing to do.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you should see the pictures in our group chat.
But you don't see stars like the cartoon characters do?
No, no, I see little bottles of Tito's, like Tito's
Little Tweety
vodka.
birds flying around.
Not yet. Only when I hit my head on the ground. That's probably the only time.
Well, do you see tunnel or anything?
Yeah, the the eyes white out like in the tube in the tunnel like right? Seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, it literally does like that. It goes white, and I could my vision goes away except the very center of my eyes, a very distance. But before that happens, I've already sat down so I don't fall.
Oh,
I,
at least you have a
I expect
warning time.
yeah, well, that's what I tell people, right? Dave, you shouldn't be doing this. You're gonna hurt yourself. And but yet, true. If I didn't know how to fall, or didn't, I know what's in front of me, right? So I know what's going to not futuristic. I know what's about to happen. I'm not going to wait for. Oh, I'm stronger than this.
Okay,
I'm
you
not going to
wait.
pass out. No,
It's
get on the
gonna
ground.
it's gonna happen. You wait. You're gonna stand up. You're not gonna have a chance to
Yeah,
catch yourself, David.
yeah. No,
Those
well,
legs will just go out from under you. It's just like boom, you're down like a tree.
we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
David, has everything I told you happened?
That's what.
Everything I warned you about happened?
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
So
A few times.
wait for this one.
Well, see, so I think that's important though because you know the winners I thought were going to be the worst for me with MSA, and really the only thing MSA does in the winter for me in cold weather, much colder than you get in
It hurts your neck
Texas,
worse, don't it?
is it makes my muscles extremely more stiff, rigid,
Yeah.
and you know how we'll shiver when we're cold. Any tremors I have are even worse in the wintertime. Like,
Multi,
yeah, like having a seizure at
multi,
times.
multiplied. Can't get the word out.
Multitude, you're right. Multitudes worse. Absolutely are. But he see cold I can deal with because I just look like a flopping fish with the determination
Yeah.
to say, and I'm much more stiff. I don't walk on ice not anymore, so we're okay. But summer you can't get around the heat. Like your shoes and socks and sandals, the sunlight, you can't
Especially here in
escape it.
Texas.
Yeah,
Come to
and
Texas.
that was the first time I noticed I had autonomic issues with my body temperature was we were in the Dominican Republic 2 years, a year and a half ago, and wearing some brand new Nikes, worn before, and I took off my shoes, and my bottom part of my lower legs and feet were dark purple. And
Wow.
we sat there, us and my wife and two friends, and we're like, "Is it a heat rash? No." Is it something we didn't know we thought it could be heat rash, but it's not a rash. The body was just like deadly purple. And that was the first moment looking back, I knew I had issues with heat. And going forward, our trips to like Miami and South Beach and stuff like that, I start pay attention to my feet, and sure enough, legs. They progressively got the hotter it gets, the farther up that purple goes on the legs and the hands and stuff like that. So,
I think
yeah,
so. And that's just with cold water in it.
hmm yeah. Cold water turns me purple. Hot water turns me purple. It's crazy how the body. I just got out of the bath. What do you call it? I forgot about the podcast, and I was getting dressed, and I was rinsing myself up. It was cooler water. My legs are completely purple, just from cool water. It's just weird stuff like that.
Every bath now, mine are.
But like you said, right, packing things when you go airlines or whatever. But if you're going somewhere hot, like me, when we were in Europe for these few times, not this last time, but last year in Europe, we bought so many umbrellas and cooling spray fans and ice, like cold drinks for no reason, just to help regulate the body temperature to get it colder.
I forgot what I used like it was the headset, but it's the
Yeah,
same as the air conditioner, whatever, on your neck.
yeah, I've seen those little fans on, right?
Yeah, those are really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Really,
I've seen my wife had a pair of those a couple years ago.
my sis,
She loves them.
my sister-in-law bought me that. That's really neat.
We need what they have like in the M1A2 the Abrams tanks. They have like a special air conditioning cooling vest because there's no AC in our tank.
Oh
So
yeah,
there's special AC vests. But I will say dress. I said this once to somebody before and they looked at me funny like I was weird. I said, I do better. Like I don't buy like horrible cotton bed sheets per se. I try to buy like silk or satin. Like
yes.
certain material keeps your body so much cooler to the touch.
It's easier to get in and out.
Mm-hmm.
But
So,
speaking of going to a cold place, like I went to Michigan for the
mhm.
clinical trial. It was really There's a new word, new meaning to bone chilling. That
True.
was so cold. It hurts my neck really bad to get cold now.
Yeah, neuropathy. I notice when the autonomic swings, the body temperature swings, the neuropathy, the shooting electrical pain is definitely much more prevalent. You feel it more often, much more severe. I have noticed that. It makes you feel like you have hypothermia on your
It,
hands and legs.
I can't hold my head up. It just hurts to hold
Hmm.
my head up.
Yeah,
I want to cry and just lay down.
that's why I said it always feels like a whiplash from an auto accident.
Oh, it's
It,
horrible,
it only gets worse in the heat and cold,
especially
right?
with cold.
So now we all take our medications over there, so that's usually not an issue. Now I will say, because I've done this one time and regretted it, I packed all my medicine in my my check-in bag that went under the plane, and we
Oh
took a
no,
14-hour flight to Europe.
David, now you know what to do, don't you?
No, man, I was a zombie. It was horrible. And I'll say one other thing too, since I don't think we're touching on anymore, but go to the bathroom before the plane takes off. I know this is not always possible,
Or
but
have a catheter.
right, yeah, if you got one, right? Um, Trying to walk in an airplane in the small aisles with any type of turbulence, minimal turbulence is horrible. And then I just realized coming back on this trip from Ireland and UK that trying to stand upright in a bathroom. See, dead serious. The small bathrooms, Daisy, the tiny ones in the planes, I can put my head against and lean against it, and it's cool. I'm like a little bungalow. It's like I got it. Right? I'm bracing myself. But this one was a nicer airplane. It had a pretty, we paid for better seats. It had some much bigger bathrooms. So now I have nothing to
Told
hold
you.
myself.
Oh
So in that,
no.
in that case, I have to sit down to go to the bathroom because standing up in a bathroom when the airplane's
Well,
moving.
David, you should sit down anyway.
Yeah, I do most of the time. I absolutely like 95% of the time I always sit down no matter what. And then the painful part of that is when my body doesn't tell me I'm full. I need a bowel movement. It's getting so backed up. When I start getting horrible pains in my stomach, I'm like I feel them towards my stomach,
You were
large
at the
intestine, the
point I
stomach.
was last year.
Yeah. So when I feel the pain get to my where my stomach meets my large intestine,
Get
right?
me to the toilet.
I say I've got to go. Like, let me go force myself. I go sit down for 30, 45 minutes. That's what my body
Yeah.
tells me. Also, very important on airplanes to get a seat, not only to have more leg room, but generally the seats that have more leg room are closer to the bathrooms. Like Daisy, we don't want to get a seat that's in the middle of the pack and we have to walk 100 feet this way or 100 feet that way to get to a bathroom because
No, we don't leave
walking,
no surprise.
yeah, walking is so, I have bumped into so many people and I've apologized 1,000 times that by the time the flight's over, these people know I'm coming through and to get out the way because it's so hard not to fall on airplanes trying to walk, especially
Use
without
the
a
aisle
cane.
wheelchair.
Yeah. That was flying though. I don't think you can use one that's flying. But
Yeah, yeah.
well, the stewardesses will come help you though, right?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
they'll use the aisle wheelchair to take you to the bathroom.
My next flight, I'm going to ask if they have one, and we're going to see what they say.
Everyone,
Like, no, who told you this?
everyone does.
I hope so. Um, what
But you
role?
learned two lessons. You learned about the aisle wheelchair, and you learned about the medical bag.
That's true. I'm gonna bring me lots of. I love applesauce. I'll bring me lots of Go-Gurts and applesauce. Sir, what's this for? You don't have any children. It's for me. My medicine.
I can't take my medicine without it.
That's true. Yeah, it's good to that point. Um, how important? Not, he's important. She is too. Help define the role of a caregiver, whether it's your wife, husband, spouse, partner, or whomever. Can you just help define? Like me, I'm pretty ambulatory. I can get around. But one thing my wife does do without asking is like, especially on air flights specifically, she always opens my food. She'll take the caps off. She'll help me. I'm trying to do things myself, but she's
Get
subsidizing me.
frustrated watching you.
Oh no! She knows because at some point I'll ask her. She knows when it's not now. She knows when to kick in and do it automatically. But you would never want to see me open up a hot meal on an airplane because it's going to go absolutely everywhere from the spasms, right?
Yeah,
So my wife and kids taking things out of my hands when necessary and opening things and getting a tablet up from the storage bin. You know, I don't need it as much as some people, maybe such as yourself, because I can still get up and do things at a consequence. I can still get up and do things, but having a caregiver or so much as a family member beside you to help out with those things on an airplane is absolutely wonderful.
it is amazing.
Let's see here. What else we got? We spoke about some equipment that we take onto airplanes for transportation, mobility aids, things like that. Accessibility. We talked about certain parts of a hotel, certain parts of a plane that are better than others. Um,
If I'm traveling by car, I'll take a stool with me because I don't ever know how high the bed's going to be.
that's true. There's been some high beds. Like some Holiday Express got some high beds too. Yeah, I
You
never thought about that.
never know. Tra- Traveling by plane probably be a little harder, but it would be nice to put your foot up on, wouldn't it?
Right. So here's one question I've.
Hey, I gotta take this stool with me because of my circulatory system. Hey,
So you do calisthenics?
that's a thought, isn't it?
Is what?
That's a thought.
It is actually. I mean, I could just flop my body on the bed and roll over, but coming down is going to be the harder part.
And
Yeah,
even before I got my super pubic catheter, it was hard to roll over. I couldn't roll over.
yeah. I didn't think about that. You got something pulling every which way with you.
You
Um.
can still roll over?
Oh yeah. Very drunken. Uh,
Shaking the bed like
horribly. Yeah, I can. It's I try not to do it as much as possible just because whoever's in bed. That's why we got a nicer mattress so that my wife can't feel me moving and shaking and stuff as I try to do things. You're completely independent. Well, it's the same mattress, but you can't feel it. You jump on that bed, she would never feel it. So it helps out to not wake her up every
um
hour.
yeah. Because my husband would be like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm rolling over."
Yeah, she
Well,
asked me, like, oh my God, what's shaking? Like I'm in a convulsion. I said, no, I'm trying to move my left leg from
oh,
behind me laying down to in front of me laying down.
well, I
So,
have the pressure mattress, that
mhm,
inflates, deflates, inflates,
yep,
deflates.
yep,
So we tried to take that to Galveston with us, but the bed was too high. So when my husband got me on it and aired up, I was on it. He was like, "I'm too scared for you to fall off of here now."
yeah,
So we had to get the mattress out from under me. Then it took us until 1:30 in the morning to finally get to sleep to bed. Because we started at 9 o'clock.
wow. Well, times well worth it definitely want to fall and hurt something. That's yeah, especially from a bed. That's the worst. Falling in your sleep is the worst. Like you hit your head on the nightstand right beside you, no matter what you do.
Yeah, because we dream and we try to get out of bed and stuff.
So today was the first time I ever used my durable power of attorneys, and that was at the bank for my wife. And I just thought about this. Would we want to take a copy of our DPOA with us when traveling in case something happens?
Yes.
And also, I think there's what's the other document called? A medical, not the
The
last will, but the medical.
advance directive?
Yeah, that too, right?
Yes.
Because I didn't think
For
about that
sure.
until just today at the bank. I was like, we should have a copy with us when we travel because you
Put
never
it in
know.
your medical bag.
Yeah, the free check on it is to check it and then go back
Everything in your medical bag.
with the applesauce. Check medicine. Check the durable power of attorney. Check.
Yeah,
Imagine you pull out the documentation. It's got applesauce stains on it. Like, really?
I'll make the list. I have
That- that's true though, because if you don't have a power of attorney with you, if you're in another country, state, or city, they don't necessarily know. Because I don't think those are digitally entered anywhere. I don't. Where would they be? digitally enter that, like a medical record, or somewhere that certain medical facilities would have a notation of that. But if you went to a hospital at Galveston, Texas, how would Galveston, Texas know you have a durable power of attorney or advanced medical directive?
They wouldn't. You're right.
Unless there's some type of notation, but somebody has to look for that. It has to be jotted down. So, having something, I think that's absolutely one of the
It's
most important things to have.
it's good, but I do also have it in my phone.
True, but if you were, I don't say disabled, if you were knocked out or whatever, incapacitated, does your husband know where to go? And that's even if he's with you.
Yes.
What happens if he's not with you?
Um,
You got
and
the little bracelet.
I need that paper one. I guess you're right.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's like most of us don't carry it with us 24/7. But if you got a wheelchair, doesn't it have like a little place to put papers? Maybe.
I don't, but maybe my new one will. But
Well, we'll get
also,
that too.
I think I'm gonna make a good point to whoever I am with to really show them my phone. Hey, just in case this is where this is.
Yeah, there's on the new updates on the Androids and Samsungs and Apple, on the lock screen you can put it, and if I don't know how they do it, but if the medical first responders, or if they swipe a certain way or tap something, it brings that
It's
information,
the
all the information up.
ICE.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in case of emergency. So they have access to all that, which is nice. But we have to not be lazy and actually put that information in
in
that,
the phone.
yeah, in the case of emergency section, right?
Do your homework, David.
Absolutely. Um,
We've been talking a while. We get carried away.
that's what people love us for, right? We're similar and different at the same time.
And very informative.
Now, the last thing I'll say, because we already covered all the topics here, the last thing I'll really speak about is, um, and I know from my education and upbringing, movies, TVs, all put it all together, my whole livelihood put together, I knew that Europe was a bunch of rounded cobblestone roads and stairs. I knew this. Think of the castles. I knew this, and it never crossed my mind. And I would encourage everybody with MSA, or you're supporting somebody with MSA, to do your research. Because if I would have looked at the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and saw those stairs were 4 degrees tilted, okay, but they're also rounded from wear and tear.
Is that the only way up?
Yeah, slippery, worn out, like indentations, right? Or if you hit the wrong, I couldn't walk in the middle of those stairs. If I walked in the middle, because they were angled out like a basketball type circle, if I would have stepped there, I would have slipped, and that's the end of it. Plus, they're like made out of granite, marble, some hard material, very
Are
very
you
shiny.
serious?
Yes, absolutely right. I would have literally not stopping to hit the bottom. I promise you that. So I encourage anybody.
Well, you got people behind you.
And I'm gonna shout out to my mom for this point too, because they go together. Shout out to my mother, Denise Sutcliffe.
Uh oh, did she catch you?
Now, I don't think anybody looks at like pictures of the streets in Ireland like wow, the curbs go in a little bit. Right? So if I'm taking photos, I gotta make sure I'm looking at the indentation of the curbs where you can pull over and pick people up. USA, we don't really have that at all. Sidewalks are straight, they're rectangular. They go one direction, that's it. And over there, they come in quite a few feet and then go back out like at the crosswalks. So I would just say to definitely take a few minutes, whatever. And as you're looking at the beautiful pictures of Venice, Italy, or Paris, France, or Barcelona, Spain, look down at the streets and the sidewalks and see what the material is made of. Because when we were in Rome at the Colosseum and things like that, I knew that was the case. I knew that from the pictures. I knew what I was going to be walking on. But it didn't hit me to actually look at that, the streets and sidewalks, other parts of the European Union. It did not cross my mind. So, having
It,
known that, I
it's,
might have
time,
actually taken a wheelchair at that point.
it's time to give someone else the camera and you watch where you're going.
Right? I'll talk about my mom like that. Well, I will say I saw the picture she took as she was breaking her knee. It was actually a pretty good picture. Her attentions were in the right
Oh,
area.
your poor mom.
I know she's doing good. They unlocked the brace to 60%, 60 degrees, and she's up and mobile, walking unassisted for the most part. I mean, she still uses a walker, push walker, and stuff like that. But hopefully, it wasn't like a lasting injury. It's for having a.
Oh,
So hopefully, it wasn't like a knee replacement surgery. That would have been horrible too.
what
So
if and she had to put up with you?
right, my
Bless her heart.
bedside. Want me to help you, mom? No, my bedside manners. I have my Trump paraphernalia, and then watching cartoons, and my bad eating habits of cereal and milk and stuff like that. So, yeah,
And what's your mom's name?
Denise
Denise.
Sutcliffe.
I thought she
Mm-hmm.
was sorry. Denise, I'm so sorry.
Because of me,
Goodness.
but it is what it is. When she has a good supporting crew around her,
Lordy mercy.
yeah, it's the things she would say. These are the things we do for our children.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, and that's what she did. She went out there to break her knees so I can have a good time with a bucket list, and still enjoy some time I have left while walking. So
And she kept walking on that
she
road.
she was so passionate about it. She made us. Now, you know me as a man, as my own person. She made us because we're about a mile away from the cliffs of Ireland, popular cliffs. She said, "Nope, I'm going to get me." She says, "Find a way to get me to that bench, that chair on the sidewalk. Get me there, and you guys go see the cliffs and leave me." It was chilly too. I was
Oh
I
wow.
was afraid of like hypothermia. I was like, should we go get her some coffee to keep her warm? But seriously, I told my kid, I said we should get her coffee to get her warm while we're gone because it's cold out. It's bone chilling, like you said, right? But she was that adamant that she wanted us to see the cliffs because we came there for that. That she was willing to stay on the side of the street on a chair by herself until we got back,
But she knew you'd be your last chance.
and then trying to get her back to the Airbnb was a whole nother story. No, no, there's no taxis over there to Cliffs. It's
Oh
remote. It's
no.
remote. There's no limos. There's nothing over there, right?
Uber.
I found somebody that can fit her and my daughter, and I said, whatever the money to get her there, I'll tip you double. I'll give you extra. Whatever your trip is, I'll give you double. I'll just get her there. And he did. He pulled the car straight into the yard, and he did as best they could. So definitely got to be careful when you're walking with not only MSA, but you know, those of us with a camera in our hands.
Wow.
All right. Well, anything else you'd like to add, Daisy?
No, I just want to thank everybody that helps us travel. It's really important
Mm-hmm.
that, and they're important people to help us travel and put up with us while we travel.
Absolutely. Lord, Lord knows I get agitated very easily, and I can't imagine as a caregiver, be it a wife, a husband, spouse, partner, kids, grandparents, mother. I can't imagine
For
how
you,
agitated they would get with like somebody like me with MSA.
well, I feel the same way. I thank my husband for putting up with me on all the trips. So he had to push my wheelchair all over the Vegas Strip.
Right?
Now, and it was so crowded. It was
Mhm.
horrible.
You know how bad how we talk about agitation in MSA. Like I was crying and yelling at the cat for eating my food. Somehow the cat got up and was eating my pizza, and I was yelling at the cat. I was crying upstairs like the cat ate my food. Like, so MSA it takes a
It's
toll.
very emotional
Yeah, I,
and
I, I thought
angry.
I thought about that the next day. I was like, I was crying over the damn cat.
I
You
was I was mad about some Cadbury eggs, David.
really
Yes.
unbelievable.
We get mad about some stupid stuff, don't we?
We do. Yeah, it's well,
And then afterwards, like you said, you're like, I was mad about that.
yeah,
What's wrong
yeah.
with you?
That's why we go to see neuropsychologists
I
because
have psychologists. That's
well, the neuropsychologists, the ones that they study the brain, the interactions between the brain and MSA. Um, all those tests we do, like word associations, colors, what patterns, whatever, it's all to see how the brain is deteriorating. And the other half of those tests are psychological, like how we view things, how we see things, or are we turning into killers or lovers or whatever.
I
Um,
need to see one of those.
yeah, it's very, very common to be recommended to a neuropsychologist. There's not much studies have been done with that, and it's a very popular thing. So when you see an MDS doctor, movement disorder specialist, they're almost always going to refer you to a neuropsychologist. And it's not it's not sitting down and talking to a psychologist. They're running tests to see how normal, quote unquote, normal we are with MSA before, and then how we're deteriorating with the brain is with the cognitive functions, the executive orders, the functions that we have, high level reasoning, things like that. So
Oh,
very interesting.
I understand one of those. Do
Yeah.
you know that my aquatic therapist told me yesterday that he Ryan, we had him on the
Hmm.
show. He had a genetics test done for his medication, and like almost all of his medication he was taking was not doing a bit of good for him. It
Yep.
was doing the reverse, total reverse.
Yep. I'll post a link somewhere. And I'm completely for medicine. I'm completely for natural remedies as well. I go by facts and not by what people say. But this he's like a motivational speaker, but he was a doctor, and he was speaking about when you when you have a disease or disorder that we think you have, and they start giving you medicine for it. Some of these medicines are ticking time bombs. They start hurting other things in your body, the longevities, the brain and stuff, all because of like a misdiagnosis. Um,
Right. That's
uh,
what.
kind of like me, right? They thought I had rheumatoid arthritis, and they gave me uh, not hydroxychloroquine. They gave me a low dosage of leukemia medicine for cancer, and it was the worst experience. I would take hell if it existed in my mind. I would take hell over that medicine again. It was I can't tell you the things that happened. It's embarrassing. It's disgusting. It's weird. It's unusual. Right? And if I would have stayed on that medicine, I don't know what like bleeding from the inside from all parts of your body. Every hole you have is not normal, right? And that's a good part I can tell you. So
Wow.
yeah, medications they're great if they're done correctly and if you got the right diagnosis. But God forbid you diagnose with something else and they give you medicine. It could be devastating.
So I was supposed to have medication for depression
Hmm.
before I got MSA,
Yep.
and they gave me medicine for what is it? Psychotic,
Yeah.
and oh, it messed me up.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's why it's been hard for me to get into clinical trials because I had fainting spells.
Hmm.
Those thought were uh, seizures, but they weren't seizures. So it's been hard for me to get into clinical trials because of those episodes.
And that's why I don't take hardly any medicines I've been offered until I've exhausted really my MSA of my clinical trials or it's become that bad. I know that antidepressants are not good for clinical trials. Those
No.
are those are no nos. Pain medicines can be a no no. And anything with bipolarism, like I have bipolarism and ADHD, because that medicine is trying to supplement
To your
Serco or
brain, your
uh,
jump.
dopamine. Yeah, it will conflict with the results with the medicine
Yeah,
they're giving you. So that's why I don't take like hardly any of these bipolarism medicines, like you said, antidepressants, because I know it's going to rule me out of clinical trials
yeah.
automatically.
I think this pain medicine is going to rule me out on oh no.
Well, we'll see. Ono has been Ono's been posting comments on my YouTube channel.
I
I,
saw that. Is that who
yeah,
it is?
yeah, yeah. There's Ono Technologies. There's a couple groups, medical groups that actually post on YouTube from time to time, and I'm sure they pay social department or whatever to look at these things and to like we did at work too. Our HR, we had a group of people that looked at social media for mostly bad things, but they also posted good things too. Like that's awesome that recognition or recognition might be due.
They're going to be listening to this, so come on. We'd love to have you on the show.
Yeah, I'll reach out to them. We also got ATH 434 now since we're down on vacation. We're
Yes,
gonna get them on. So
we've got to. They emailed me.
other good thing. So if anyone wants to send us any questions or suggestions for the podcast, the traveling was a big thing, very important. We received a lot of feedback and a lot of questions. I received not only through the MSA Crusaders, but also through our social groups we have together and privately. Traveling is one of the biggest things. Like at home, we're okay because we have everything really at our disposal, right? Once we get to a hotel, we're at the mercy of what they can support, what they have to offer, and just getting there with traveling is absolutely horrible. It could turn a very nice vacation into a horrible trip from hell. So
Yeah.
traveling is something very important to think about before we just jump into it.
And now that you know that you can take a medical bag with you, be
Yeah,
sure to think about everything you need at home that you will need on your trip and make a list. Put that stuff in a bag. It's
I'm gonna,
not
I'm
a
gonna,
problem.
I'm gonna stop laughing at you all the silly things that you say because they're turning out to be absolutely true and
I
valid and
told you.
100%.
I said one of these days, David.
You,
One of
keep,
these days.
you kept saying your body was vibrating like a phone. I thought you were like taking too much drugs, like too much cocaine
That
or
was
something. And sure
crazy.
enough, a few days
Like,
ago, my body's like a cell phone. Like, what is this blasphemy that's happening to me?
I have myself on. Nope, I don't have any pants on. Right?
That's a whole other story. Absolutely. So from now on, we're not going to second guess Daisy. We're going to nod and notate. We're going to nod in agreement, and we're going to write
And
it down.
later on, you're like, Daisy told me about that.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
David, you thought you did. You thought I was very loco. You thought, oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
I
who's this
did.
girl? I told her to join the podcast with.
Like you got to cut down on the drugs, Daisy, if your body's vibrating.
Like, what have I got myself into? And then
Right.
your body starts vibrating. You start looking for a phone.
Well, I mean, think about how many places can you go and view? Look, we're not perfect. We're not the richest or the poorest. We're not the greatest social status or whatever. But we're on here trying to like my YouTube channel, like your books, your publications, right? We are trying to give real world like
Awareness.
understanding, yeah, awareness of what MSA is, what it does, how it looks like, what it smells like, what it vibrates like. We
Yeah.
we are trying to do our best for the next person. And this is legit. Like I did not believe you with the body vibrating, the part of the parts of the body vibrating. I didn't believe you. And but once I
You
noticed
said
it, I said,
parts of your body that you
right.
should look at.
So not that I didn't pay attention to you before, but now I'm really paying attention to what you say
Because
because it's
I'm
coming true.
a bit further than you, and I'm telling you
Yeah,
what you're in store for.
yeah, absolutely. And that's what unfortunately MSA battles are about. It's just really not about us per se, but it's about the next person that comes up with the battle.
Exactly. And they say that everybody's different with MSA, but you have the same symptoms. It just may not be the same phases.
Severity or the right time or different times. Yep.
But listen to that person that's a year or so ahead of you and know, huh,
This is something we learn as children, right? Listen to your parents, no matter what they tell you. If you don't understand it, listen to your parents. This is a nice example of that. It's
yeah, we want to help you.
yeah, absolutely.
Help you
Uh,
on this journey.
Now, when you figure out how to put the phone on silent, Daisy, please let me know
Uh-oh.
so we could turn off the vibrations. Put it on silent.
Oh,
No vibrations. Okay,
I got you.
that's hysterical.
So I want to say that we are sponsored by Defeat MSA Alliance. David and I are both on the boards there, and they're really great charities. 501c. Oh, what is it?
513C. Yeah, if you can say
501c.
that. Yeah, you're good. Better than me if you can say that.
And please donate to defeatmsa.org forward
Mhm.
slash donate hyphen to hyphen us forward slash.
Yeah, I just want to say there's so many with such a rare disease. There's not as many groups that's are supporting it and so are advocating for MSA and stuff. DefeatMSA.org is a great organization, great people. Are we perfect? Are they perfect? No. Is any place or company perfect? No. There's only like two other organizations that are larger that deal with MSA. So you're talking about really three organizations in the world that try to make a difference with MSA, and defeatmsa.org is one of those that they reached out to us and they like what we're doing. They want to support us. We want to support them. They've been nothing but great people and organization. But there are other places too. I don't want to take away from other organizations.
I want to say that I've been with Defeat MSA Alliance since day one after posting my book. I
Mm,
would donate 10% of my proceeds to Defeat MSA Alliance, and they've been so good to me and give me information and things to help me.
mhm.
And the director, which we had on the show, Phil, he's really informative.
Yeah.
His brother passed away with MSA.
Mhm. Yeah, their website is very informative. I will say that of the three organizations I spoke about, only two have a website that you can go, and it's a one-stop shop for
Anything.
anything about MSA. And when I first got diagnosed, before we even heard of MSA, first time we heard of the first visit to the MDS doctor, but when she said MSA, I immediately went Google, and the first thing was defeatmsa.org, and they had so much information, too much, to where I was able to actually have a very good understanding about what's going to happen, what's happening in issues, right? Goods and bads that I could not find with Google or with any artificial intelligence. It was piece here, piece there, piece over here, but MSA at defeatmsa.org, it's a very great website, and we obviously want to encourage any of our listeners to support them because the money doesn't go to us; it goes to the funding for research for MSA, and
It
that's what's
does.
most important.
And one thing you can find on there, if you are a patient of MSA and there's something that you don't have, they have a loaner closet. And they will
Hmm.
send you anything you don't have that you need to help you out with MSA. But one thing that you can do, um, if you're looking for like clinical trials, they've been always looking for clinical trials. You can go on there and go to the MSA research and go to pipelines and resources, and you will find clinical trials there.
Absolutely, yeah. Going to the government website is a little confusing because MSA can be included with other things, and this one is really black and white, the ongoing clinical trials in past, present, and future.
Yes, because it gives you just certain one for MSA.
Yeah,
So
good. You're gonna tell us the title of your new book yet, or you're gonna hold that off for the next episode?
it's MSA Crusader.
Or singular. my my life with David the podcaster, how horrible it was doing podcasts with him. Yeah,
Don't forget to check out my first book, Unexpected Moments, with the forward by Kirk Cameron. It does tell you my life story and talks about my diagnosis with MSA. And my second book, Beyond Heaven's Gates, that shares even more about living with MSA. So,
sounds like a Guns N' Roses song title. Knocking at heaven's gates, like knock knock knocking on heaven's door. Yeah, no,
yeah,
I can't
kind
sing.
of.
Can't sing anymore. All
It
right.
does tell. No, I can't. Unfortunately, I can't. It does tell about glimpses of heaven that I had um, in short stories before it does open it back up to continue living with MSA. So,
Good.
but you
Absolutely.
have to read Unit Unexpected Moments first to understand what continue living with MSA means.
I'm happy you're writing another book.
I am too, David, because you're going to be in this book.
I'm happy because if we don't have something we enjoy with a terminal disease, it's going to rot us from the inside out. Like I have my YouTube channel, you have your
Writing.
publications. It keeps your eye on the prize, as the Bible would say.
It does. It gives me a purpose.
Yes, absolutely.
Post this podcast with you, David.
Yeah, and be easy when you talk about me, please. Just like be kind of like make me seem like a very great man that's well liked in the community and great hair.
Do like my niece did when we went to Galveston. She said, "You're kind of famous."
Absolutely.
She heard our show and she says, "Is that you?" And I said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
She said, "And you wrote books?" She said, "Well, you're kind of famous. So you're kind of famous, aren't you?" And I was like, "Not really. Thank you."
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, so we are on iHeartRadio, we're on um,
YouTube, Podbean,
YouTube, Podbean,
Spotify.
Spotify. We're also on Pandora. We just got there recently. Also on, we're also, dude, we're on Sirius XM satellite radio. If you search for it,
We're
if you download their
everywhere.
app, on your cards. You search for us there because they're owned by Pandora and XM Series merged. So good for us. We get hundreds of thousands of views and stuff. We get thousands of plays. We're trying little by little for
To make
people
a difference.
to make a difference, right? So that awareness is everything. We're not here for notoriety. If you want to say we're famous, to me is having one person outside of here that knows my name, and it's me. That's good enough. So I appreciate it.
We do too. I do too. I said we do too. I do too.
YouTube channel is MSA Strong. I don't normally plug my YouTube channel, but look, if you look up, just Google MSA Strong, I should be the only thing that comes up on the entire Google because there's nothing else out there. I
And David's gonna be kind enough to have me on there, so
Yeah, after my next Wednesday office visits to the doctors, so she can talk me off a cliff. Absolutely.
it'll be a little while, but you can look forward to Daisy on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, I'm thinking of starting my own YouTube show too.
I would. It could be anything. YouTube is there's a lot of great shows. I'm doing YouTube because I do videos.
Well, I'm thinking about doing a video. It's gonna be
Yeah.
a little while after I get some dental work done,
Yep.
but I'm thinking about maybe even reading instrument. What do you call it? Parts of my book on
Mhm.
YouTube,
Yeah.
so people get an idea what I have, what kind of author I am.
Yeah, it'd be great to fill in the gaps of what the book doesn't tell. The books don't tell what they can't tell, right? Things you can't possibly put into a book, maybe. Just like my YouTube channel, right? An audio podcast like this is great, but you're imagining these things, these tremors, these just walking, these issues we're having. And say like
They
if you
can't see
they
us.
can't visually see it, right? So we make things up in a good way. So yeah, I absolutely encourage it. It's nothing. I've been helping you with some editing skills from time to time, so I think
Yes, I appreciate that.
we can help you and get you in the right direction with that. It's not hard. It takes a little bit of dedication. That's for sure.
Well, look forward to our show, and thank you for your edits.
Absolutely. So thank you guys. We'll see you next podcast. This one will be showing on the 12th of April.
Yeah, thank you guys for being our listeners and coming back for our next show to listen. And remember, we're all MSA Crusaders.
Yes, we are.